if you've broken the law, but you kept feeding your neighbor, you still broke the law. It's like they won't take that into consideration. Because if you're being tried for a crime, you're being tried for that crime. You're not being. So you stole a car and then you ran over somebody. That's a particular crime. Let's say that's 2 crimes. You can't then say, yeah, but I did my neighbor's garden for the last 10 years. The judge won't say, oh, I didn't know about that. Okay, no, I understand, and let you off. Because then that's not righteous. It's like to be just, for the judge to be just, you might say, okay, you did that for the gardener, but you still have to pay for this crime. And the thing is, we've all sinned against God, and it's impossible for us to pay that debt.
Oh, that brings up another thing also about justice versus mercy, and that they're mutually exclusive.
Right. I
like
understand
mercy is the suspension of justice. And so that mercy is equality, then we can't have perfect justice and perfect mercy at the same time. Like it's one or the other. And so it's like if we've done a crime, like it's like a just thing is like if you've done a crime, you pay, you pay in time, that kind of thing. Like unless there is that payment, then it is not, justice hasn't been served. Mercy has taken the place. You see what I'm saying? Like the guy that stole the car and ran over a kid, he gets in front of the judge, and the judge says, okay, you're going to have to go to prison for life. Well, actually, I'm going to pardon you. You can just go ahead, walk out just today. Like if he says just walk out just today, justice hasn't been served, in my mind. Like again, just as my, I guess, concept of justice in these cases. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. That then wouldn't be justice. I mean, it's a crude example, but supposing you had some driving offense or parking offences, and there was $1,000 fine, and you were broke, but you have to pay the court $1,000. If somebody else says, "Look, I'll pay the $1,000," you're off. You're scot-free. It's been paid. But the thing is, the crime for your life and the sins you've done is more than $1,000. Nobody else can pay it. But the point is, because Jesus lived a perfect life, he has completely paid for it. So by swapping places with him, justice is still done, because all the bad things you've done wrong, Jesus already took the full punishment for that on the cross. It wasn't the nails going through his hand and getting whipped and stuff. That wasn't the punishment. The punishment was facing the wrath of God, which is something that you really can't do. So God's full wrath was poured out on Jesus when he was on the cross.
That was actually another question that came up about that substitution, as it were. And as you said, like there's this sin that deserves infinite punishment. In each individual case of someone who sinned, which is like every human, that it deserves infinite punishment. So that sin deserves infinite punishment. And that being righteous, that deserves zero punishment. And so that all these sins, as you said, like when God sees us now, we've been given the righteousness of Jesus in order to be in front of God. But then on the opposite side, it's like, well, Jesus took the full punishment, as you say. But the full punishment for all these sinners was an infinity in hell.
And
so Jesus didn't take that punishment. It seems like he wasn't.
Well, I don't think the word infinity is in the Bible. I mean, it's a punishment more than we can take. And no, you're right. Jesus didn't go to hell. But he faced and he took on the full wrath of God and the full separation from God. So he did take that, but you won't find in the Bible. There is lots about the burning lake and wailing and gnashing of teeth and stuff about it in the Bible, and the sort of people that go there. But that's like a permanent separation then from God.
I had my own ideas on hell, but that answers it. It's just saying that there's full wrath of God. The infinite wrath. Maybe it's like not an infinite amount of time. Could happen in like a second. Like he just comes in and just just yells at Jesus like only God can, or whatever. Not yells at. I'm just. It's a silly analogy, but just that he gets the full wrath, which is like an infinite wrath, while and again, just going by what Scripture is saying. So this is while he's on the cross, or was it in the 3 days? Or no?
No, it was on the cross, and then when he was raised from the dead, that was a sign that he had completely, well, he paid the price at the point of
Okay.
dying, but being raised again showed that God accepted the sacrifice effectively, and it had been paid in full. Like when Jesus was on the cross and said, "It is finished," he said that before he died.
Okay.
At that point, it was completely paid.
Okay.
So he
That's
didn't
when.
then he didn't then go to hell, or didn't go to hell and get punished. There wasn't anything after that point. It is finished at that point. And the my understanding is of the phrase "it is finished." That is the phrase that was used when there was like a ledger with debt or whatever else on. When the debt was paid in full, there was a certain phrase which was the equivalent of "it is finished." So Jesus saying that was saying the debt has been paid in full. So that was the point of that.
Okay. No. No. That's it. So that's when the punishment was taken. Like I say, that's it. It was a question that came up the other time. Like it just seemed. It seemed not seemed two different things, but it was seeming like it was. Anyways, a curiosity for me. So yeah, that he'd taken the full wrath of God, and then on the cross he'd said it was finished, and that was when the price had been paid.
Yeah, when he'd said that, at that point it had been completely done, and then he says it gave up the ghost. At that point, he died.